Hey guys, it's me again, Orc where we last left off on this meta what if. Oh, wait. Oh, neat. Anyways, that's where we left off last. Deku's mind broke. And now the FI, or the FI, Fractured Intelligences, as I call them, they are here now. So what will be happening is, well, they're going to be trying to figure out who, well, they know their basic objective, that they're going to try to become a hero for UA. But they don't know why, though. It's just that feeling inside of each of them. Except Gamma, which was Deku's which is a formation of Deku's deceit of deceiving himself that he thought that he could become a hero. In truth, he was lying to himself. That's where Sigma comes in, is that it's like sort of the opposite, where it was his passion to become a hero. So it's sort of a weird complex there. Theta is like his childish and happy side, you could say. Now, if any of you know about Red vs. Blue, there was actually two more AI I forgot. It's Ada and Io. Ada represented the alpha sadness, and Io happiness. You can just say Io, or Iowa, was absorbed into Theta. And Ada, well, you can say Ada and Epsilon, which will be Deku's memories. They haven't found them yet. But what's happening now is that they're off to find a place where they could train, hardcore training, like a quirk specified gym. Now they won't be using their quirks until they feel until Delta in this time has pretty much come up with an entire fitness program, studying, and he's been taking time to look up a better hero outfit than what Izuku was actually wanting, which was a thing very similar to All Might. In his mind, he's like, the suit will not do. As he starts going through the internet, trying to find a composition of a suit that offers enough mobility and maneuverability. Well, I guess mobility is the same as maneuvering, as well as defensive, and anything extra that can be put in there, such as air filters and such. As he's running through his head, he starts looking through, he looks through some of Deku's information on his computer, which is just basic things, schoolwork, latest hero updates, that All Might video. As he pulls it up, and it's the whole I am here with him carrying a bunch of people on his back. He's like, interesting. As then he starts flowing through the internet, looking as much information as he can about All Might. And he's like, real name unknown. He's like, is that not a violation against law where all heroes must have their name present? Odd. As then he starts going about even more, trying to find the first mentions of All Might. Went to UA, it seems. He left for America. As then he switches over to a US server, then looking at all the achievements he has there. Because I'll say that Japan just really recorded all of the stuff All Might did in their country. As he's looking at All Might stuff that he did in America, he's going to realize that All Might did a lot. He brought down several criminal organizations, several high-ranking heroes, and actually exposed a few heroes for a few other things with help. He's become a very big figure in the US. Sorry. He finds that odd. So, that being said, Deku and them, well, not Deku, but Delta and the others, I'll say Theta actually wakes up as he says, I heard you say something. What was that video earlier? I just heard it when I was resting, you could say, where they like shut down, like power down for a little bit to get rest. I'll say something they can do. As they're looking through it, it's just, as Theta talks about how when he was asleep, he kept on getting flashes of something. He kept on seeing this girl, and it looked like Izuku was much smaller then. It's like, it must be memories trying to call back to who you are. As he then says that he has come up with a theory that we all seem to have specific parts about us. Omega seems to be angry. Sigma seems to be ambition for this hero objective. I seem to be his logic. And you seem to be his happiness and childness. It's like, is that an insult? He's like, no. It is actually a very good compliment. He's like, oh. You seem to be recalling the things that made Deku happy in the times he were. As we go to Omega, and he's like having like one of those rough nights where he's seeing when Bakugo used to kick him down and kick him around. But then Tex would come out. And that even makes him even more angry, is that Tex had to pretty much get hurt sometimes to like protect Deku because he couldn't watch after himself. Then he sees the thing happen with the bullet spraying. He doesn't know who she is. He just knows that seeing these things happen to her fills him with even more rage as he pretty much wakes up, pretty much screaming, flying out of Deku's head like, ah! Theta freaks out and actually goes like, what? As she hides behind Delta. It's like, Omega, what is wrong? Memory, what is that? Haunt us. As he's like grabbing his head, his holographic head, and is just like shaking it. It's like, it is memories coming up that correspond with you specifically. Theta has them as well. As then we go to Sigma and Gamma. Gamma is reliving the times where he would hear, Deku, you could become a hero by Tex and his mom. And in the back of his mind was always those thoughts that, you guys have faith in me, but I don't. It's like those, it's like that thing where it's like a subconscious thought, where it's like you don't feel it, think of it directly, but it's always there in the back of your mind or sometimes. And Sigma, he's seeing all those times of seeing heroes like battling villains, like how he's like when he sees Kamui Woods take down several villains at once, or Mountain Lady, Death Arms, Endeavor, All Might. He's seeing a lot of this All Might character as he as well wakes up. As he goes outside of his head, hearing that, noticing that noticing that Delta, Theta, and Omega are already up. He questions them on why they're here. Omega says, we are merely talking about... Sorry. We are merely talking about the memory flashes you all receive. He's like, what about you, Delta? Do you receive any? He's like, no. I do not have a specific emotion that I correspond with. I am the logic, and I will ensure that we all succeed to the best possible percentage. It's like, I guess that makes sense. Theta's like, so what did you see? I saw, as he turns to the poster, I kept on seeing him. Him? This All Might. He seems to be somewhat of a important person to us. And then as Omega interjects, he is nothing important. Feel nothing but rage. Well, not nothing but rage, but he has that very deep, only rage. I don't know how to do like a voice changer thing, so I can't get those voices that they had. But it's like a very deep voice saying he does not agree All Might makes Delta angry, not Delta, but Omega furious anytime he sees him. Anytime someone talks, as when he talks about how Delta just abruptly hung on his mom, he felt anger at that. Felt extreme anger when seeing that blonde-headed fuck in the back of the corner. He described on how he almost took control over from Delta so that way he could just go beat the crap out of him. But he held back. Delta and all of them are trying to figure out who Deku is. Gamma is still inside of Deku's head, sleeping. As Delta says, it is time we all get rest. We have a busy day tomorrow. As then it's just the sun starts rising and it's like, oh, it's already day. As they all retreat back into Deku's head, and then Delta pretty much takes up the controls, getting ready, dressed, getting his clothes all on. As Theta says, Delta, aren't we getting ready a bit too early? It's like, nonsense. This would provide us with adequate amount of time for us to get to school and arrive early while we finish up some things. We forgot to do our homework. It's like, oh. Alright. As they get up, they run and I guess they'll have... He makes himself some eggs and such. Eggs with, like, bread and such. Saying this will be the optimal amount of nutrition we will need for breakfast. Theta says, can we have something better? Like, what about ice cream? It's like, Theta, ice cream does not provide the nutritional balance that we need in our diet, especially if we are going to become much stronger. It's like, okay, but we may have ice cream as a dessert. It's like, really? Yes. Like, oh, thank you, Delta. It's like, no need. It is what the proper diet says. But we cannot have ice cream every day. Or every other day. It is a treat. When we have earned it. Alright, Delta. As Theta goes back to, like, being all happy and such, trying to cheer everybody up. Sigma's like, that it is quite alright, Theta. We are all fine. As Gamma's like, yes, we are all doing just fine. In his very robotic voice, Delta's like, alright, we are all leaving. As then Inko wakes up, he's like, Inko, Deku baby, what are you doing? It's like, I wish to walk to school today. Needed head start. And it's like, oh, well, did you already eat? He's like, yes. And the pans and everything have been cleaned up. Goodbye, Mom. As then he walks out, Sigma's like, we have everything we need? We need. It's like, yes. I have ensured and double-checked, even triple-checked. We have our math books, school books, and this hero book. My guess is that we write information on new heroes. I've already taken the priority of memorizing every single hero in it. I have also made updates, you could say, to it. To be more effective analysis if it ever came down to a fight. And this picture signing of all my Delta, Omega, looks at it. Sigma is like, feels his like spark of joy in him. Theta feels really happy, but Omega wants to rip it out and throw it in the garbage. As Deku, before he went, felt incredible rage at All Might for some reason. He doesn't know why. Like, he's always looked up to All Might. So, to him, it doesn't make sense why he would feel so angry at him. Maybe it's the whole, anyone can be a hero speech, is that what he gave Deku. Omega doesn't know why. But he just hates him. Just receiving information through sleeping. as they start to travel and walk by, as he walks all the way to school where some of the teachers first start arriving. Oh, is that Izuku? What are we doing here? Class doesn't start for another, as they look at their watch, another hour. He's like, I forgot to do my homework last night. I decided to arrive at school to finish it and be able to hand it in. It's like, oh, I guess that's fine. It doesn't matter to us. As it's like, alright, here you go. As it's like, thank you. As he walks by all of them, they're like, he seems to be in much better than a little while ago. Like, maybe he got over it. It's like, there's no way that kid would get over losing his girlfriend, man. Those two were, from what I know, Miss Allison and Mr. Izuku were together for like ages. Like, they known each other for like practically their entire lives. It's like, well, no, I feel even worse for the kid. It's like, probably should. Like, he was bullied for how weak his quirk was. It's not like any of us did anything about it. It's like, yeah. As not Omega, but Theta's like, teachers seem really nice. It's like, yes, indeed. As Delta says, they're teachers. They should be teaching us. Now, let us return. As they get ready and get ahead of their homework, as homeroom is called and everything, as they go around, and they're like, oh, shoot, forgot to pack a lunch. The cafeteria doesn't give food, so, As like, we'll run to the store real quick. As he gets permission from a teacher saying he forgot his lunch, would it be okay if he went out and bought some bread or something? It's like, sure, it should be fine. A convenience store is like over that way. It's like, thank you. No problem, kid. As when that comes, they're like in there grabbing some bread, or like one of those weird sandwiches, and getting like a thing of Gatorade, or well, I guess an energy drink, or something along those lines. When out of nowhere they hear the bell ring, and then it's like, put your hands up, hands in the air. It's like, as they're pointing it around at some of the clerks, Deku's like, well, not Deku, but Delta and all of them get low behind the things. He's like, now, not put your hands on the ground, but now put the money in the bag for my partner here. As he's like holding a gun like at the guy's face. Like, come on, hurry up with it. As Deku's like, Omega's like, guns. Well, not guns, but he just sees the people's fear in their faces as the gun is being held right in front of their faces. Omega takes control over the body from Delta. Delta's like, what are you doing? It is not logical. And he's like, shut up, Delta. As he takes control and walks slowly behind these guys, as he gets the super strength, punches the guy with the gun through the door, breaking the entire, both the doors off their hinges. Then he takes his other fist, smashing it into the guy's chest and sending him flying into a wall. The first dude, his entire jaw is broken, with several teeth being thrown out. His nose is broken, and he has some facial fractures. It's not caved in, but it's pretty bad. Omega didn't throw every bit of force he had. The other dude, well, he has a few broken ribs. As then Omega says in a very low tone, like with Deku's body, are you alright? It's like, yes. It's like, do you have anything I can tie them up with? Is what Delta suggests, is that it'd be optimal to tie them up now before they regain consciousness. Even if you did hit them with a lot of your force, it is never too bad to be safe. As they look around, it's like, we got these zip ties, optimal. as Delta says that. They grab each other and they pretty much put them like back to back and tie their hands to each other and tie their feet to each other. It's like, there we go. It's like, hey, man, as he like is about to pay for like the bread and drinks and such, it's like, no worries. You did your part. You helped us with this, so you know what? Take the food for free. It's like, oh, thank you. It's no problem. And don't worry, well, you won't tell the police you use your quirk. It's like, thank you. And I'm pretty sure you didn't even use it, as Deku's tall in this, like Agent May. And he's very muscular, like Agent May. So, with that being said, Deku, I guess Deku's body, but the FI all walk out. Saying that, Omega, why did you take control? That was not the logical choice. Logical choice would have been to call the cops. Omega is saying that it is illogical. What is illogical? That is the entire point of us staying hidden, to not get shot or injured in any form. Like, we couldn't just let them deal with that all by themselves. Didn't you see their faces? They were terrified. Yes, they were. But they would have lived if they have handed over the money. Yes, they would have. But, who knows? Anything could have happened. Yes. And if you had messed up, those people may have been shot. It was illogical for your safety and theirs, if things went bad. Like, but they wouldn't have. Like, you do not know that. Yes, I do. Now stop questioning me, Delta. And you need to stop questioning me, Omega. You cannot take control whenever you feel like it. I'll do it if it's necessary. It's like Delta sort of not being annoyed, but trying to be reasonable with Omega, while Omega is trying to be Omega, like passionate and such, sort of in the sense that he will not let somebody just almost with a gun to their forehead if he can't help it. He felt anger at seeing those people's faces. It reminded him of the day when Allison got shot, as you could possibly tell. As they all walk out of there, Omega saying, have you come up with a suit yet? It's like, not yet. Still compiling data on materials and ways to do it. If we can all be a single form of armor, or should it be multiple sections? Omega says multiple sections may be better. If it was an entire suit, it would be sometime. If we got stuck with something, the hinges on the suit may stop us. Just try to find as Theta says, oh, why don't we make it like a suit of armor from like some of those futuristic futuristic soldiers would wear in games. It's like, Theta, that is, as they look down for a second, logical. She's like, really? Yeah. Delta immediately compiling analysis saying, water breathers, full optimal vision. As he comes up with the suit, they'll wear like a somewhat of a skin-tight bodysuit underneath it. They'll act as like, it'll be fire resistant, and yeah, it'll be like fire resistant and stuff like that to help in case they run into heroes. Like, you know those things that divers wear that help with like resisting the cold, like swimsuits and such, like deep dive swimsuits? It will sort of be like that. It will be compiled to both take on the cold and the heat to try and keep you insulated, so that way it won't be hot air, well, the heat cooking you, or the cold freezing you to death, is what that part of the suit will be made for. As for the other thing, his other suits will be made up of armor, as Delta says this, that the armor could be made up of multiple segments of heavy armed armor that will offer substantial protection and maneuverability. It is logical. And then as they say, what about a long-range weapon though? Like, you'll come to this conclusion later. Need more analysis. With that being said and done, they continue on with their school day. As then, it's quickly the cops were called, and actually somebody actually saw the guys go in and started recording it to like get a look at these people. Then they saw Deku as that thing spread very quickly. As it kind of looks like after he did that, like the owners let him go in fear, but in truth, like when they were talked to by the police, it says no, we let the kid have those. Like he like saved us after he like helped us, so I thought it would be a nice thing to do for him. It's like Anyways, we'll wish to speak with the kid. Do you know where he goes? It's like, yeah, his uniform looked like he went to like that junior high up there. I believe it's like either middle school or junior high. I'm not entirely sure. As then Deku is eventually called to the principal's office. It's like, what did he do this time? Well, as they like get one of them pulls up the video, it's like, well, he stopped this. As the guys are sent flying, like I said, and another's embedded in the wall. And Deku's face is completely emotionless. Like, he doesn't show any signs of being happy, angry, or anything. As, like, Delta took control very quickly, as, like I said, they process time much more slowly, I believe. So they can immediately get their emotions sorted out rather quickly for people. So by the end of them walking out, Delta was already back in control and walking. As the police talk with them, he's like, what do we do? What do we do? As Delta's like, I will try and be reasonable. Coming out and explaining the situation on what happened, he's like, and your quirk? He's like, it may have activated by instinct. It's like, what's your quirk? It's like, it is, as he explains it, as a variety. I can put up a shield, increase my strength, increase my speed, increase my regeneration, and I can camouflage. Anything else? He's like, no. As I'll say, there's one that can sense lies there just in case. It's like, there's another one. It's like, As like, what is it? Well. As Delta's like, technically, aren't we part of the quirks? As they're talking very quickly in his head, we're parts, we'll just say astral projection. Yeah, it's just astral projection, but it really isn't anything that could be deadly, as he says it. It's like, show us. As then, it just shows like a little version of Deku, which will be Delta, which is green, and looks exactly like Deku. As he shows his face, it's like, see, as he's trying to speak in Deku's normal voice, saying it is very difficult. It's like, alright. Well, we'll let you off with a warning this time, as Delta quickly went back into Deku's head. As then they explained that, we understand that it was the heat of the moment, but please do take care not to use your quirk out in public. It's against law. It's like, understood. As then not Delta, but Omega was seething in that, hearing the don't use it spur of the moment, as he's starting to like have a little fit inside of Deku's head. Theta's like, calm down, Omega, come on man, let's calm down, otherwise the cops may do something and then we won't be able to become heroes. Sigma's like, that is right, Omega, calm yourself. Gamma says, you should have let me handle that. I could have lied to them much better. It's like, we do not need to lie to them. We gave them the truth. It's like, go man, go. Gamma's like, very well, as he like disappears back into the back of Deku's mind, always kind of being quiet. Now that isn't how Gamma is in the original thing. He's like very like a jokester, like ha ha ha, hey, church, knock knock, but haha, sort of jokes, very poor jokes. As the teacher says, well, I wanted to, as the principal's like, well, thank you for helping those people out, and to ensure further things like this don't happen with you in that situation, please do try to remember bring your lunch to school. As Delta's like affirmative or acknowledged. Now may I please return to class in a very monotone voice, like I say. It's like, yes, you may. As they immediately stand up and walk out of there, turning to class. As the teachers and such were confused, as one of them saw one of the kids on their phones, like, what is that? Oh, it's Deku. He just like kicked a few of those guys' butts. As Bakugo hears that, as then he sees what Deku did. He punched a guy and put him in a wall, and the other dude went flying outside of a convenience store. Even with Deku's increased strength, even with Deku's already amazing strength, plus his minor boost, he wouldn't be able to knock an entire set of doors off their hinges, as well as send a guy and such flying. It's like, maybe that nerd has gotten stronger. As Deku walks back to class and sits down, paying attention to the class ahead and listening. It's like, And that's where I'll be ending this off on. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hope y'all continue to enjoy this. And I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.